Basically, many of my friends were into IT, so that is how I developed my interest in it. And I used to see them work, the work culture, everything. IT is a different, very different sector. Yeah, there was a month left, and I was on like just a month was left in my notice period, and I was about to leave the organization. I had a good offers also, but still I kept attending interviews, even though at the very first round, at the telephonic round, the HR was clear that our budget is so and so, which was very, very less, compared to the already offers I hold. But still, I was giving. If you have your interest, then definitely you will find your time and everything, you will definitely find your time and you will definitely start diving deep through it. So I would say, and stay consistent, and that's also a very important factor.
So yeah, guys, I think this has been waited for quite some time now. So guys, today we have a very special guest, and he is like one of the Sharpnarians who's lived the dream of many people over here. Like he kind of got into dream companies like JP Morgan, Just Dial, Melrose System, and like he had like 6 total offers. Okay, yeah. So guys, let's welcome our boy Rahul Prakash with a round of applause. I think so. So hey Rahul, welcome to Sharpness Hall of Fame, Rahul.
Hey, thank you for the great opportunity to present
That's great.
myself.
So Rahul, I think so. Like before we start, like people would love to know a little bit about you, just a little bit about your background and everything. So if you can give a brief introduction to yourself, that would be awesome. I think so.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, myself Rahul. I'm from Karnataka, Raichur, and I'm a B graduate. I can say I'm from electrical domain, that is triple E. I'm a 2018 pass out. Mm, Actually, I joined after immediately. I mean, I was done with my BE, right? So I joined. I started working as a site engineer in an electrical transmission company. You know, just with a degree certificate, which I had no idea what's going around. And yeah, of course, I worked there for around 8 months, and then I planned to get into IT, and that is how I got started.
Awesome, awesome. So Rahul, yeah, guys. So guys, like pretty much like the way we're going to structure this. Yeah, pretty much like people who are new over here. So the way we'll structure this side, we'll ask Rahul like a lot of frequently asked questions before. Okay. And then Rahul is also going to share about like how he cracked interviews, his interviews journey and everything. Okay. And he's going to like after that, like once we covered everything, he's going to also take your questions. Okay. So, like whatever questions you have, like, we'll try to keep the our like the frequently asked questions. We'll try to wrap it up within the next 30 minutes. Okay, and then we'll open it for your questions. Okay, so you guys can raise your hands. Okay, if you have questions after the session, like once the session gets over, you can raise your hands. You can start raising your hands, and we'll take each and every one of your questions. So, guys, stick to the end. I think you'll learn a lot of things. Okay, like what was the like the magic essence of Rahul? He's going to unveil it today. Okay, so stick till the very end. Yeah, guys. So Rahul, just so that like the audience can like keep a connect with you, this they also want to understand like when did you start coding? Okay, like and how good were you? When was it like that you started coding? Moreover, Rahul.
Okay, so basically, I was not into any coding until 2018. I got graduated. Even in every B, right, in first sem, we have a common subject like computer science, a common subject where even 12 programs will be given. Even I had to buy had that time. So I was completely new, and yeah, I told after when I was done with my electrical experience, right? So I thought of getting into IT, and that is where I think in 2019, in the middle of 2019, I got started with a Java, I can say. So that is where I started and joined company.
Awesome. So I think so. Pretty much the story of most of the people joining at Sharpener. I think so. They also have a similar story wherein they start coding when it's too late. Yeah, after after their colleges. Yeah, but yeah, like so Rahul, like I also wanted to understand like what made you like do this, okay, like what made you basically think okay, like what was your perspective before you started coding, and what was it like after, like why did you start coding in general, like why, like what was the need?
So basically, many of my friends were into IT. So that is how I developed my interest in it. And I used to see them work, the work culture, everything. IT is a different, very different sector, right? So then after that, I got into like, I didn't know even there are how many technologies in IT. I just got it started with Java, and I got into my first company, I can say. So later on, when I was into the company, I got into like, okay, there are so many technologies and tech stacks, I can say. So personally, I developed my interest in front end development, I can say. So that is where I got to know that, okay, even there is a front end development. And even I was not aware of many tech stacks. So even my two or three friends were all already at React developers, I can say. So that is where they suggested me to get into React, and from then I got started with it.
Awesome, awesome. So so when you started this, okay, like basically you're from a non-IT background. Coding,
Correct.
wasn't it scary? Like what was it like? As in like when you started off coding, like I see a lot of people getting frustrated while getting while coding when they don't get answers.
Correct. When I was into organization, I still remember my first day when I attended an internal training on React, okay, and JavaScript. I was completely blank, and I was getting nervous and nervous. People were asking questions, the discussions, and everything, the projects. So I was very, very nervous, But yeah, it takes time. Be patient and consistent, I can say. The more time you spend.
Understood. So, Rahul, like, can you like people would love to know like what was your work like in the previous company? Like, what was your role actually? Like, was it like development exactly, or like what was it?
Not purely development. I was to support. Production support, I can say, where the application was already developed in the production also, and we were giving it a support and a kind of. We were also a part of database team.
Understood. Understood. So, like support, I'm guessing like it would be more like you might be like whenever the application might be going off, you might be like trying to figure out what went wrong, and then like informing the developers that this is what is off. Like,
Correct. So
वैसे ही
we were
कुछ
not
होता है.
dealing that much with code, we were not directly dealing with the code. Yeah, we had the application ready, but yeah, we were just going with the flows according to the incidents raised and why the data, if there is any interruption. So we would reach out to the right team. So basically, we were not into perfectly into kind of, we were not making any changes in the production, or we were just reaching out to the right team and letting them know our analysis. That's it.
Understood. Understood. So I'm guessing you're the one who's like whom the developers hate. Yeah.
Correct. We always go to them and
Like I used to get like so whenever in my the previous organization where I used to work, I used to get like so whenever the support guys used to mail, right, they used to loop in the entire team, okay, and
correct,
that was the most scariest times of like yeah, basically like you used to get mails from, I don't know, this designations were also very complicated, like the the designation used to look like someone from the CXOs have mailed me, okay, but and then I used to understand, okay, the support नहीं बनता है, and then
correct.
अलग ही एकदम फिर वो जाता था कि भाई अब क्या होने वाला है आगे जाके, अभी जॉब चली जाने वाली है हमारी.
Now when we get developers, of course, we had two people. That is the one which is, of course, from the support team, and the other one are testers.
Understood, understood. So yeah, yeah, pretty much people whom the developers hate. Now you're a developer, so now you'll know what you've done. Now karma will hit you back. I think so. Great, great.
So,
So
Rahul, over here, like one thing, like say you were working at Wipro, right? Right. So after that, so like, were you enjoying that work, like of support, or how was it?
Not really, I would say. Uh, Even I have a colleague here with me. I think Shubham. I think he's on the call, or I don't know. We both joined the sharpener together. We planned it.
I know Shubham really well.
Correct, correct. So I was not personally enjoying it. My dream were completely different. My interest was completely different, and uh, yeah, well, you know it, right? When we work without interest, things that doesn't go, things doesn't seem to be well. So I also used to work in shifts. Shifts shift पे काम कराते थे हम लोगों को. तो I used to work in shift, and yeah, there was a time where I had to I was making some changes in the production with as the SQL, and I was asked to run a query, and subah I think it was around 6 a.m. or something, and I just ran it, and later on I noticed okay, I forgot to apply where clause, and the entire table got, and
Oh,
really high level. Uh, I think if he's here, he can explain it in a better way. So ऐसा हो जाता था कि you know uh, it was kind of that way, but yeah, in here I'm really enjoying the work.
awesome. Well, we'll get to that, I think so. So,
Yeah,
Rahul, like one thing which I knew, okay, like the support guys enjoy the most when they find a bug and then they can
correct.
blame you. Yeah.
Support and testers both.
They were like, yes, up to फाड़ेंगे हम लोग की.
Now probably it will become opposite, Rahul, right?
Correct, exactly.
So, okay, now a pretty important question over here. I think so. A lot of you would like learn a lot of from Rahul. Okay, so Rahul had a full-time job, guys, and that too in shifts. Okay, so how did you manage time, Rahul? Like how were you able to like? There are a lot of sharpenarians who keep telling us कि भैया time नहीं मिल पा रहा है, भैया कुछ ना कुछ हो जा रहा है, मैं distract हो जा रहा हूँ. And Rahul, you had your full-time job, like 9 hours or 10 hours of job. And how are you managing sharpener parallelly? Like, कैसे कर रहे थे तुम?
First thing I took an advantage of is it was work from home. It was my yeah, I took a great advantage of it, I would say. It was work from home, and whenever I used to log in, I used to open two laptops, not only the one which the organization gave, also my personal one. तो ऐसा नहीं रहेगा कि you will be completely free all the time. ठीक है, थोड़ा थोड़ा you have to even if you get a time of 20 minutes right in between, so switch to it back again if you get something and get back to your work. So that is how I used to do, and even in shift it was horrible though. But yeah, I used to dedicate at least like 1.5 hour, and when weekends used to come, I used to be so happy that yes, I have time. I get time to study now.
Awesome,
You used to
awesome.
utilize your weekends properly, right? Like so,
Yes,
weekends. Like,
yes.
what was your strategy of like how were you managing time?
Like completely, like 3 months I never got out anywhere, no friends, nothing. So and I also got a good colleague where even he was focused. Our interests were same. There were a lot of mutual things in it. Even if we were on call, we used to discuss the same. And ऐसा था ना कि जो भी मेरे friends है, they are all big big React developers. So even when I used to be on the call, we used to discuss about the interviews and the stuff, right? The topics related things. So I was completely into it. So I never got anything to distract, I would say.
Okay.
And plus,
I
those
think
people motivating you also, right? Probably like when you see someone working at a good company, so that would also motivate you. That okay, that the next goal is like.
Correct.
I
And
think
one
I
thing,
think it would not motivate. It would like make you jealous. कि साली को अच्छा job लग गया, मुझे भी चाहिए.
Kind of a mixture of both.
Like so, I actually I had a friend back when I was in like 2018. Okay, so I did not get into that well-known company. Okay, and my friend had kind of gotten into like Walmart. Okay, so एक बार वो बंदा शुरू होता था ना, तो he used to like tell कि ये perks है, खाना मिल जाता है, ये मिल जाता है. I'm like,
Same.
and that too like it was not like only food. Okay, it was more like a 5-star wala food मिल जाता है. But I've gotten bored of it. I'm like, we did not even get the opportunity like that. Yeah. But then yeah, like once you get into a good company, that's I think so that like works in your favor. Yeah. But yeah,
Correct.
it gradually, like abhi, ऐसे you're an IT man. The best thing about IT, I think so, is companies try very hard to retain good talent. Okay, if you're skilled, if you have the skills, okay, like gradually you'll get there. Like maybe in the beginning you might not get there, okay, but gradually you'll get to a very good position, okay, wherein you're like these companies are like trying their best कि आप रुक जाओ हमारे पास. So that's the
Mm.
best thing I think so about IT. Yeah. So
He
okay.
might be with this, I guess, in JP Morgan. Yeah, like companies are, matlab, see, the thing is like they obviously like they find a very big pain to hire good talent, right? And once they find a good talent, they don't want to lose you, right? For that, like they'll give you a lot of perks and probably a lot of bonuses, a lot of good hikes, right? Which I believe none of the other industry gives you, right? Because हर एक industry में you're replaceable, right? But this industry is something where you have written the code, right? And now no one knows what you have written, right? So now if you,
And
uh-huh,
and if the new folks come, right, he has to take a month at least to understand the entire architecture.
correct. And that also you not understand it that properly. Like even if he understands your code, if he's given a task to do on your code, he will get mad, right? And he'll not do as good as a work as you were doing, right? So that is the reason why experienced folks are rewarded that much. Right?
True. Yeah. So yeah, like the worse code you write, the more rewarded you get. I think so. The more irreplaceable you become.
Correct.
Yeah. So okay. So I think so. Like a pretty favorite question of I think so everyone. Okay. Over here. Okay. Is how much time did it take for you to complete the course? Okay. So Rahul, guys, before Rahul answers this, I'll tell you Rahul had a full-time job, 9 hours gone over there. So I would want to hear like how much time did Rahul take to finish off the course? Rahul, over to you.
Yeah. So I would say it depends on a person and on an individual. I would say definitely it's so when I before even I joined Sharpener, so even when I was in my first organization, I literally attended all the internal trainings, I would say, and I worked on small scale projects from YouTube. Right. I had a good hands-on, I can say, with React and JavaScript. So I also completed the Udemy course, and I already had that certification. What we went through again when I got in. Just when I joined Sharpener, I could say I just completed the course in just 2.5 months, I can say. So the previous efforts, I can say. So if you are new and you are dedicating a very good time, then I think it's for 4 months of 4 months is more than enough with a good dedication. If you are a fresher and you're dedicating it a full time, but yeah, for people who work, right, so it's little difficult to manage. But
True. Yeah, because we've also seen like there are people like I think so in last session we had someone like who took 8 months, okay, to finish the entire course. Okay. So it kind of varies from people to people, okay.
yes,
But guys, like the most important thing over here is that you get the skill set correct, okay? Because once you know the stuff, right, then like companies would come begging you to join our company, okay. That's how it is, okay, in the IT sector, okay. But yeah, like if you just like for the sake of like doing it, if you don't enjoy doing it, and if you don't like what should I say, if you don't hustle, okay, like basically whenever you get stuck, you should like basically think over it again and again and again, okay, and like try discussing it with your friends, okay, and try to get to the answer, okay. Don't take the answer from them, try to get to the answer, okay, and always code it by yourself, okay, never copy paste. I think that is the success mantra which has helped a lot of Sharpenarians. Yeah. Okay. So I think the next question,
Before that, I want to ask one question to Rahul. Like, matlab, how did you and like Shubham decided to join Sharpener? Right? Matlab, what was the reason? Like, this is my personal favorite question. Right?
okay, so before okay, I think it's a very important question, I can say, so when I tried on my own, when I we were focusing on how do we do, right, how to do this. So that is not how it goes with interviews, right? So they will ask, why do we do? So any concept you take, right? Like the most common question I'll talk about virtual DOM concept. Okay. So we just know that okay, if we ourselves are attending, okay, I'll just study. Okay, what is it? Okay, it's just a virtual DOM concept. I'll just say it off. But they want to know why and how.
Hmm.
That thing we started exploring when we got here. When we got in here, I can say, the things which are asked in interviews are really different, and we wanted a good platform where we can get into and grab more opportunities for interviews.
Correct, correct. Yeah, I think pretty important takeaway. I think guys from Rahul, okay,
Correct.
like कुछ भी like whenever you're doing something, right? Like make sure कि you know why are you doing it. Yeah, because अगर why नहीं पता है तो like doing it doesn't make sense altogether, right? Like
Guess
you will
what?
not be
Even
able to use
when I
it.
told that I had already a certification from Udemy before joining your sharpener, right? So I thought, okay, I'm all done with this. But there were some concepts which the sharpener had focused to go there and go with it. So I was like, okay, we just skipped it, and it was so important. So so things, the really important things were focused, which were mandate for interviews, I can say.
True,
Correct.
true,
Because
true.
interviewers also like, matlab, if you're actually interested in something, you will always dive deep in order to understand those things, right? You will not find an easy way out. Ki, haan, matlab, I'm just getting this thing done, so my project is completed. You will not always do that, right? Matlab, you will never do that. You'll always dive one step inside to figure out that why is it happening, and that is the reason. Like that is something which the other person is also looking out for. That is the reason. If you look at right the questions that they frame, right, is always one level deep, right? For a good particular company, like a good company will always go one level deep, right, to ask you those set of questions, right? And that is very important to always ask yourself, like, even if you're writing a single line of code, you should know that why you have written it, right? Like in data structures, like I tell that, like, so there are a lot of people who have just written the code, but then they don't know like why, like they are using that particular variable or like anything, right? Anything in general, right? If you're not knowing why, then probably you can just erase it, right? It should work
हाँ,
the same way.
because in the end, like your manager would not say कि okay आज mood है arrays का तो array से करते हैं solve. आज mood है hash map से solve
Hash
करते हैं.
maps, right?
Your manager would not say this to you, right? कि हाँ ये अच्छा ही लग रहा है array अच्छा ही लग रहा है object के through करते हैं ये. They'll be like find the best solution, right? So that's why you should know कि when to use it, yeah. So yeah, pretty important takeaway I feel. Yeah. So guys, the next question. Okay, I think so. The favorite question I think which people are waiting for. Okay, is what was the interview phase like? Like once you got ready, Rahul, what was the interview phase like? And there's a lot of stories over here, Rahul. Where I think me, Vaibhav, and Rahul all have different sides of the stories. So first, I'll give Rahul the opportunity. I think so. So Rahul, tell us about your story.
So
Yeah.
So from my perspective, it's not only about how technically strong you are. Sometimes it also depends on your luck and your opponents, I can say. So my first 15 to 20 interviews were like zero. It was so bad that even I was not able to answer like not even 2 out of 10 because the questions were really different. And at the very same time, the colleague what I was speaking about, Shubham, like for him, they were just asking definitions and simple programming. For me, literally, when we say we are experienced, like they started asking about agile concepts, right? How do you manage? How do you work with Jira and all? Which I have no idea about that, and they started judging me on that. So my first 15 interviews were like completely down, and yeah, I was so depressed also. So I was really depressed at that time, and it depends, it depends on the person. Like there are few who just got into after 2 to 3 interviews, and they have just gone with definitions and everything. So it depends. I would just suggest just keep trying. And later on, after 20 interviews, I was the main thing. What I got from every interview is the confidence. the confidence that really matters. Sometimes even if you are wrong, be confident. That works, according to me. So confidence is important. Uh,
Awesome, awesome. So, Rahul, like in general, like like when you were ready, okay, like so 20 interviews, okay, then what exactly happened after that? Like, so you like kind of started seeing a pattern in the question, is it? Like, what was it like after the 20th interview? So, and how you start cracking? Like, what was the phase like after the 20th interview? Did you get rejected after that, or like were you getting one after another?
After that, at least started reaching to third levels, I can say, third level of it. But after that, maybe I was uh, in that position where, like, almost like all the questions were triggered on me, all the types, I can say, of questions. So at least I had an idea, okay, if you don't know, how to just get out of that and take to a different concept for the interviewer. So yeah, the common set of questions, I was like, I was really good at it. There was, like, when the same questions were being asked and again and again and again, so I got more and more confident. And there were some interviews viewers, who also told me the answer and go through the topic, so and so topic. So I was, getting prepared over every interview, like, even though if however it was going, that's secondary. So after that, I was confident. That's what I told, right? I was confident, and I confidently started cracking the interviews, I can say. And every, like, programming, even the programming rounds where I was not able to come up with the output, okay, just when the interviewer hangs up, the very next moment I got the output.
Oh, that was sad. Yeah.
That's a kind of regret, like, oh shit. So, but yeah, next at the very, like, I used to be confident if the similar kind of program used to come, right? The same kind with the same logic and functionalities. So I used to be confident and I used to do it quickly.
Getting you. So, like, yeah, I kind of remember this from this angle. Ki Rahul got a lot of rejections, okay, and then there was this one point wherein Rahul was like, so Rahul had put down his papers, okay, so like, so Rahul had to serve like 3 months of notice period after that, okay, and he was not putting down his papers, okay, that was the thing, okay, like he was like, ki, job milega ki nahi, okay, and then he put down his papers and then he got a lot of rejections, okay. So he was in between, so skeptical कि भाई मेरा job लगेगा कि नहीं, okay. So
I think Vaibhav knows that very well. He was asking me to drop papers. I think I had an offer, one or two offer. I think I
Well,
have
I
just
had an offer of 5 lakhs, I guess. 5, 5, 6 lakhs.
yeah.
I
The first was like 5.5.
correct. So,
मैंने उसको अभी बोल दिया था उसको. I told her, like, even if I put on my papers right now and manager will be holding me for 5.5, he himself will give me 5.5 and he'll hold me back.
So yeah,
So
so basically, yeah, so there was this case कि, when Rahul kind of started thinking कि अब मेरे को यहीं पे job मिल जाए 5 manager से he started talking, okay, कि 5.5. I was like, Rahul, अभी notice period serve करो, एक बार थोड़ा सा notice period कम होगा ना, उसके बाद देखना कैसा धमाका होगा. And that is what I think happened, yeah. Like Rahul, there was a
and
time
I was
when
like, yeah, how would I sleep, without a job and dropping the current job?
so I remember this thing, right? Rahul calling me before he started giving interviews, right? I was in some government place, right? ठीक है, वहाँ पे I was stuck there, right? क्योंकि काम हो नहीं रहा था, right? And I spoke to Rahul for almost 1 hour, like, I guess, right? Somewhere around that, right? And he was like very skeptical कि यार सर 3 महीना का notice period है, I'm not getting, मतलब I'm not getting calls. I told him, why are you not getting calls? Like, you have not sent me your resume, so how will you get calls? Right? So where is your resume?
Correct.
Where is your resume? And then after a week or two, only, like, he cracked this offer of 5.5 lakhs. Right? Then I told him, yeah, 3 months ka notice period hai. Worse, nothing will happen. Right? Okay? You will go to this company. That is the worst thing. Okay? And ये हम लोग होने ही नहीं देंगे, right? We will get you in sharpener at a more salary than that, right? So there is no worst case scenarios to that. The thing is कि it was a very difficult time for us to get interviews for because companies are not willing to wait 3 months, right? ठीक है, 3 months wait करना, क्योंकि क्या होता है ना कि companies लोग को भी companies के साथ भी बहुत धोखा हो जाता है, कैसे? If you're telling them, okay, I have a 3-month notice period, right? They give you an offer, and that 3 months you will not wait for that, right? Obviously, you will apply to a lot of other companies, right? You will sit for them, and there are very high chances that you might get a better offer. तो अब क्या होगा कि जैसे जैसे कम नोटिस पीरियड हुआ, ठीक है, you will end up going to some other company और वो company वेट करती रह जाएगा, ठीक है. So that is the reason why they are very skeptical, right? So I told him nothing will happen, don't worry, ठीक है, and you give your notice, right? And after 1 week he calls me up again that Vaibhav, I'm continuously getting rejected. नहीं लगने वाला है. So
फिर एक ऐसा टाइम आ गया कि फिर राहुल इज लाइक कि मेरे को 10 लाख का से ऊपर चाहिए मेरे को, या मेरे को 10 लाख अच्छा ही लग रहा है, इससे थोड़ा और ऊपर चाहिए, 12 लाख हो जाए तो सही है.
Then what happened was he cracked this company, I guess. Melora was a good offer which you cracked first, right? ठीक है. So he had cracked a 8 lakh rupees offer. मतलब वो HR ने मेरे को कॉल किया था, वो मेरे को बोली कि I have rolled out an offer to Rahul, 8 lakh rupees, right? And so फिर Rahul calls me up, very happy, right? Very very happy that I've gotten a 8 lakh rupees offer और company भी बहुत अच्छा है, सब कुछ अच्छा है, right? Everything was good, obviously that company was really good, right? I told him, why I'll not let you go below 10 lakh. Okay, you sit for interviews right now. You have 3 months left, right? So that time, I guess 2.5 months was left, right? How? Melora the flag was.
Correct. So even before that, I was not even like, bus job mil jaye, bus focused on package, because I have dropped the papers and I want to get into something.
So I think pretty much a journey which was there, and then जो वैभव बोल रहा था, और फिर Rahul kind of kept on getting offers after offers, and then I think finally JP Morgan,
He had gotten an offer which he was completely content with, right? So he got an offer of Just Dial after that, right? Just Dial ही मिला था ना उसके बाद, Just Dial मिला था, ठीक है. And so the HR was like कि मतलब उसने मेरे को 3 बार कॉल किया था कंफर्म करने के लिए कि राहुल ज्वाइन करेगा कि नहीं करेगा, ठीक है. तो I told him कि आप 10 दे दोगे तो वो ज्वाइन कर लेगा, right? 10.5 if you give him, he'll join, right? ठीक है. तो वो बोला कि वो मैं करवा दूंगा, right? I will talk to my upper management. I'll ensure कि that they do that much salary, right? ठीक है. And so then I told him कि हाँ he will join, right? ठीक है. And but then we were not content कि अभी तक बहुत टाइम बचा हुआ था, right? He had a lot of time in hand, right? Where he could have cracked a lot of other offers also, right? So and he was really good, right? Rahul, मतलब one thing which I saw in him was like he was continuously, let's say whatever queries he had, right? Whatever questions he was not able to solve, he was practicing on that. Okay. So if you are giving interview just like that and not working upon what were your problems in that interview, you will never improvise. But Rahul was taking an effort to learn more than what he was not being able to answer, which was actually helping him grow, right? 15-20 interviews reject hona, it's not a very big thing, right? You will get rejected, right? Rejection is a part of life. But सीखना हर एक interview से कि क्या reason था, that will help you grow. And that Rahul was doing it very properly.
And what happened? There was a month left, and I was on just a month was left in my notice period, and I was about to leave the organization. I had a good offers also, but still I kept attending interviews, even though at the very first round, at the telephonic round, the HR was clear that our budget is so and so, which was very very less, compared to the already offers I hold. But still, I was giving. I just kept giving. ये thought आ गया था मेरे में कि चलो my duty is just to give the interviews and select होना ही नहीं है, that's secondary. So I started enjoying the interviews, I can say, at the last.
And that's also very important thing. Like, say when you're serving your notice period now, you are free. You don't. The organization which you're working for, उतना तुम सोचते नहीं हो कि यार काम भी कम मिलता है. You get a very less amount of work during that phase, because the managers also knows कि like if you are given some work, obviously not do it properly, right? You'll make a mess out of it, right? So you're not given any work, right? And that freedom is also very important because that will help you learn, plus upskill, plus give a lot of interviews. And if it's work from home, it's like it's a cherry on the top, right? It's a cherry on the top. You're not doing anything. You're just opening your laptop. ठीक है, just replying to messages, not doing anything, और side by side कुछ और कर रहे हो. ठीक है. So that thing is very important, and a lot of people are hesitant on that. ठीक है कि भाई मेरे को पहले better offer लगा दो. जैसे I have seen people, right, जहाँ पे there was this guy, वो रेजिग्नेशन दे ही नहीं रहा था जब तक उसको बेटर ऑफर लगे ना. मतलब he wanted a 2.5 times ऑफर. फिर हम लोग बहुत मुश्किल से उसको like into cross 2 लगाए ऑफर, और फिर then he resigned, right? And I remember Rahul, when he got this offer, right, he had this friend, right, Shubham is also on the call, right? ये राहुल ने मतलब I was also in the conference, right, and he convinced शुभम कि भाई तुम नोटिस पीरियड डालो, ठीक है, मैं गारंटी लेता हूँ तुम्हारा जॉब लगा देंगे.
Yeah, correct. First I dropped papers, and then we both convinced him to drop the papers. But the very next week, I think. Yeah.
Correct.
So that the important thing is it is to gain the confidence that okay, we'll be able to crack it. You know, at that time only we are suggested to do so. I think. Right.
Awesome. So I think last question, guys, and then I'll start taking each and every one of your questions. Okay. So okay. So like, Rahul, we wanted to understand like what was your journey with Sharpener like, and any favorite moments which you remember.
Yeah, because I never got any chance to attend doubt sessions. Until now, I have not even attended a single doubt session, I would say. So my favorite moment was again with Vaibhav while dropping the papers. I could literally feel him. He used to say, "Okay, drop the papers today," and I used to say after a long conversation, and I used to be like, "Okay." And next day, I used to call him, and he used to be like, "Okay, did you drop?" I was like, "No." So you know, this continued for 3 days. He was asking me to drop, and I was not dropping, and he was so frustrated. And at last, he was like, "Abhi tu kar raha hai ki nahi?"
मैं मेल लिखूं.
And if you're not doing nothing, no, it doesn't go now. Okay, abhi ye chalega nahi. If you're not dropping, then
True that.
so that was the scariest moment, though. But yeah.
So Rahul, okay, I think one last thing which question came up was like an advice which you want to give to the people who are preparing right now, like some like advice which you want to like people who are about to start their career and and who are preparing right now. So like any piece of advice which you want to give to them.
I would say first, the first factor I would talk about is the interest. Okay, please do develop your interest in it, because if you have your interest, then definitely you will find your time and everything. You know, you will definitely find your time, and you will definitely start diving deep through it. So I would say, and stay consistent, and that's also a very important factor, because that is how I always there was a time where I also started even on social media platforms, keeping all the funny things aside. I started following many tech stack pages, even while I was scrolling down the social medias, I started going through the concepts there, and and really they were a lot of informative, I can say. So
Honestly.
please do invoke your interest, and everything will be on your way. Yeah. And
Yeah,
stay
instead of
consistent.
like instead of like you should follow like these career blogs and all, I think so. Yeah.
Correct. Especially the tech stack pages, and even I find it really informative, and every day I used to go through it.
Yeah, unfollow all the girls which you follow and just follow all the tech stack pages. Yeah, that's the mantra. So
Right
okay,
now,
let's go.
people getting demotivated because of like there are a lot of firing going on, right? Okay. So see, you have to understand कि it's your journey, right? मतलब there, I show them that there are, if you literally open LinkedIn, right, and if you actually type full stack developer and you click on jobs, you will see 1,000+ openings in just last 24 hours. Right? Okay. You just have to crack one company out of that. Okay. I know there's a lot of negative sentiments in the market. Like that will always happen, right? I believe Rahul, when he cracked JP Morgan was on a firing stage. Correct? Okay. They were firing people. Okay. And he made it into JP Morgan. ठीक है. और तुमको ये समझ आएगा ना कि जैसे अभी right now Google has announced that they will be firing X number of employees. Amazon has announced they will always be firing the top employee जो बहुत पैसा खाते हैं, right? उनका जिसका salary 1-1.5 करोड़ है, right? If you are getting into a salary range of 10, 15, 20 lakhs, right? It's just pennies for them. समझ रहे हो ना? Companies के लिए it's a very small amount, ठीक है? And people will not be fired अगर उतना तुम्हारा salary है, and that is what you are expecting. They are always ready to hire. जैसे अभी if you look at Amazon is still hiring freshers, right? They are still going to campuses hiring, right? अभी they have stopped because अभी क्या है कि अभी उनको lay off करना है, तो there's a lot of negative sentiment कि भाई आप उनको क्यों lay off कर रहे हो, hiring क्यों कर रहे हो, right? So that is the reason why they have stopped right now. But the thing is, within couple of months they'll again start hiring, ठीक है? And whatever negative sentiment, even if there is 10 companies hiring, right? We have to just focus on the positive side, right? Rather than because there will always be negative things, right? जैसे यूक्रेन में वॉर चल रहा है, ये चल रहा है, वो चल रहा है, right? अब तुमको लगेगा इंडिया में भी वॉर आएगा, वो आएगा, वर्ल्ड खत्म होने वाला है, right? So that is like you always have to believe on that positive side and keep on hustling, right? If you hustle, trust me, you will always like make a way, and that way will be really good, right? ठीक है? The way out, right? The destination that you find will be really positive, and you will enjoy that, right? ठीक है? So just keep hustling, right? Just keep hustling, and one or the other day, like you will get there, right? So that is important. ठीक है? So yeah, so let's open the mic, right? So for like let's take everyone's out. Obviously I cannot open the mic for everyone to talk, so become a fish market. ठीक है? So yeah, so probably let's start. So people can raise their hands, right? We'll try to answer as many questions as possible. ठीक है? So Himanshu, you want to start?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, Himanshu, you're audible, but I think so you're not eating anything today. So इसीलिए आवाज नहीं निकल रही.
Now I am audible good.
Yeah, yes, you're audible.
So, sir, my question is English is important to get a job in good companies?
Yes, very important.
I mean, fluent English or basic English?
नहीं मतलब
You can, if you can convey, I think so. Yeah, but I think let Rahul answer this question. I think so. Rahul will.
Yeah, because there are a lot of companies, they'll definitely judge you with your, conversation, your English. There's all your technical knowledge is secondary for them. There are many companies that way, I have seen the way at the very first round, you will be asked to speak a lot, and they'll check your fluency, because at this time, I think most of the clients will be from European countries, and they do expect a good, fluency.
Correct. And even if it's not European countries, right? India is also now growing in terms of startups and everything, right? But the thing is, India is itself a very diverse country, right? मतलब you have people in South, जिसको English, मतलब they don't know anything apart from English, right? The regional language you will not be able to speak, right? There's Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, right? You'll not be able to speak, right? Okay, just imagine the interviewer is like a Kannada person and you're speaking Hindi to him, right? It will sound like him, sound to him like a Bahubali, the first villain था ना, right? Okay, it will sound to him like that. Okay, so obviously you cannot expect that he's selective based on that. So you have to have one. So what is English or what is any language? It's just a medium of communication, right? Okay. So if you know that language and if the other person knows it, and if you're able to display your skills through that, right, you will end up getting selected. But mostly they will check for English because अब क्या है कि team में it's possible that 3 people might be North Indian, 2 people might be South Indian, right? You cannot just divide the team into 2 parts, right? So that is the reason why English is it's a mandatory skill to have. Okay. Cool. Let's move on to next person. Praveen, you want to go next?
Hi, sir. Hi, Rahul. Congrats for the job.
Thank you.
My question is, you got into core companies like JP Morgan. So I think you have experience in coding field. So that's why, or is it possible for freshers also to get into core companies without prior knowledge of coding?
I mean, without prior knowledge of coding, then
Yes.
of course like you have to work on it. You have to be good in your technical stuff, your subject, I can say, on whatever tech stacks you are into. So just make sure it doesn't matter how many tech stacks you have mentioned in your resume, I can say. Even though if it is just one or two, if you know them very well, that works, I can say. Even that's the reason, like I personally prefer, I personally didn't prefer for full stack, even though call myself as a 2 years experienced folk. Because there, yeah, one more thing is I saw a folk in my team where she's about 7 years of experience, and she has 6 years of experience in React. Right, she has started from the class component, and literally any severe bug is assigned to her, she'll be doing it in a single day.
Ah.
So this is what I believe in. How deeply you get into the subject, that matters. No, that's not how many tech stacks you have in your resume.
Okay.
True. That is true. Like, I think depth matters over here quite a lot. Yeah, depth really matters a lot.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
choose a
uh,
subject and just dive into it deeply, I would say.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Correct.
you.
So, matlab, ab Rahul, let's say Rahul has gotten into an SD2 profile, right? In JP Morgan. So you might not get into an SD2 profile because that is for the experienced folks, right? But this that same HR is hiring for an SD1 folk, right? Okay. But a lot of people end up getting rejected because then they don't know the subject matter properly. So that is the main part, right? If you know the subject matter properly, right? If you know the things well, right? We will be more than happy to like. Let's say yesterday I was referring people to Check, right? Okay, so Check is also a very very big company, right? Okay. So now the thing is, if you know things properly, the companies will hire you for SD1, right? And SD1 say, if you stay there for 2 years, you will automatically be promoted to
Yes,
SD2,
D2.
right? So that is the thing, right? So companies are willing to hire, right? Companies हमेशा experience folk को नहीं hire करती है. That is the reason why there are so many levels. Okay.
true.
So you just
So,
concentrate on your skills right now and leave the rest of the job to us. We'll get you placed in the best to best companies, right? Okay. And if your skills are really good, okay, that best to best companies can be anything.
true. मतलब वही है अभी जैसे like see definitely there is like there is this thing कि like देखो मतलब अभी जैसे next time I think so there's one person who's going to come like who's going to be an absolute fresher. He got into free charge. Okay, I think so we'll be scheduling his in the next to next event in the absolute. So people do get like the people have got into traction as well. तो मतलब यहाँ पे वही है कि preparation में थोड़ा matter करता है definitely. And obviously kitna depth you know, okay, the depth is very very important. Okay, like Car Dekho is also currently hiring from us. Okay, so it all depends upon ki like तुम्हारे में कितना depth है, you'll get the opportunity. Okay, like अभी like थोड़ा सा मुश्किल तो है. I'm not going to deny कि because of the layoffs and all, a lot of companies are on hiring freeze. Like a lot of well-known companies which you would have thought, a lot of the Mang companies are into hiring freeze right now. ठीक है. बट वही है कि यू डू योर बिट. ओके, एंड मतलब अभी होगा मे बी अभी अगर इफ लाइक मे बी बाय मार्च और लाइक से अप्रैल आई थिंक सो मोस्ट ऑफ द हायरिंग फ्रीजेस वुड गो अवे बिकॉज इतना लोग को फायर कर दिए होंगे कि नाउ दे नीड टू हायर अगेन, राइट? सो वो साइकिल चलते रहता है यहाँ पे. ठीक है, तो आप अपना प्रिपरेशन अच्छे से करो एंड लीव द रिमेनिंग टू अस. लाइक या सो वील डू आवर बिट. या गाइस, so yeah, I think next question, I think Ram, you can go next. Ram.
Hello.
Yeah, Ram.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations, Rahul, for the job. Okay.
Thank you.
And one thing I wanted to ask is this React job. Okay. I actually completed Node.js whole thing. Okay. And the thing is, in Node, I was told by Vaibhav sir and yes, we had that DSA is important for backend thing. How much do I need to prepare for DSA for getting into front end role? The basics that I till now that I prepared up to this linked list and recursion. So not I don't know about some these trees and backtracking other stuff. So that much DSA is okay if I do go for React.
Personally, if you ask me, I would say I'm not sure about backend, but up to my knowledge, even though if you're in backend or front end, DSA is a
Mhm.
because I have seen even in front end interviews. I don't know why they asking for front end people, but still, I have seen interviewers asking DSA because that is the best topic for anyone to judge a candidate, I can say. And in my case, yes, I was asked on basics and like hash maps and everything, and there are few and if you talk about my friends, my colleague, whoever he has attended, so for him they have asked in depth, I can say. Then it
Okay.
completely depends on the requirement. Then I would suggest you to spare a little time for that also, because maybe tomorrow you have a wonderful opportunity and you're getting stuck there and you might lose it, right?
So,
True. And plus in the sharpener module also, like we've like removed most of the advanced bit, which not a lot of companies ask, so to the end portions. Okay. So I think pretty much you're covered over there. Like as in jitna basic I think so that is only what is present right now. So yeah, pretty much it's important that you know DSA because right now, like yeah, like people are looking out for like you understand right? Like a lot of Amazonians have kind of gotten laid off right now, right? So you have to compete with them, right? So obviously, a lot of good company people have gotten laid off. Okay, so in the end, what matters to a company is the best. They hire the best people at the minimum, most minimum package which they can give out, right? So वही है कि you have to compete, okay? And यहाँ पे वही हो जाता है कितना डेप्थ आता है सब कुछ का तो डीएसए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है मतलब कब कौन क्या
Correct.
पूछ ले यू नेवर नो या
And I have a scenario also, like my scenario is, I was given a task a week back, and I was asked to bring the data from the API and handle it with maps. So I was literally blank. It happens. So even though I still remember in the last project, right? Yes, there were many test cases in your course, right? So there were certain test cases we had to write, right? It was compulsory, and I literally skipped it. And you remember, I used to come to you and say that I was more eager to attend placements, so that I used to ask you, is this compulsory? Is this compulsory? And last you told that okay, skip the test cases. The first day when I got into here, the very second day, my lead asked me to write test cases for components. And now there's a new rule imposed in our organization, in our project, saying that every developer who develops a component has to write a test case and then push. Otherwise, the commits are not taken into Git.
Correct. मतलब यहाँ पे ना मतलब we try to incorporate whatever we have learned, right? Whatever has मतलब जैसे now तो we have around 4 years of experience, right? भैया has 6 years of experience, yes भैया, right? ठीक है. So now the thing is like we have found a lot of things when we were working, when we were actually applying to companies, right? Whatever has been our experience and the other mentors' experience, right? We have tried to incorporate each and everything, right? So that you guys might feel that okay, this thing might not be important, let's skip it. But what is you will face it someday or the other, right? Whether it will be in the companies or whether it will be in the interviews, someday or the other you will also face that same challenge. Okay? And the course is really small, right? Let's say abhi right now, Rahul, like I've moved the advanced data structures to the later part, right? So what I want right now, I want first people to crack a 8-9 lakh rupees offer. ठीक है फिर देखेंगे ना यार 12-13 लाख रुपए के लिए मतलब like after that we will understand like what it takes to crack a 12-13 lakh rupees offer, right? ठीक है because you end up starting everything for a 12-13 lakh rupees offer. Just imagine like if everything gets changed, right? ठीक है so you're not landing anywhere. So best ये है कि get to the first milestone, ठीक है crack the first milestone and then you will get you placed into that next milestone. समझ रहे हो? So the goal is that next milestone only, right? ठीक है to get you that 13, 14, 15 lakh rupees plus offer, right? But let's do it in parts, right? Rather than going to the straight first, the main milestone, let's do it in parts, right? So that you are also rewarded and you feel that, okay, I'm not just studying, I'm not getting anywhere.
True. Okay, I think so. Okay, we're at 1 o'clock already. We were supposed to wrap it up by 1:15. So let's quickly take the questions. Bhushan, you can go next, Bhushan.
Yes, sir. Congrats, Rahul, sir. Yes. So my question is, like I heard, like, do some people say that coding is not for me? So is this thing really exist according to you?
Not for me in the sense who is you? Can you like describe yourself? You're
And,
from not background, I can guess, right?
yes, yes. I am from electronics and telecommunication.
Yeah, even I'm from electrical. We are not
Okay.
far from, I can say. It's never too late to start. You can. It's never too late.
Okay. So just practicing in and we can
Yeah,
get the job. Like,
stay. Yeah.
okay. So
Just a piece of advice: the course has been designed by me. I'm also electronics, so don't worry about that. I know your pain.
yes, 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 yes.
So
And
yeah,
many,
like a lot of development portion has been designed by me. So yeah, I know your pain. Yeah. So
yes,
yeah, I'm not a CSIT guy, sadly. So yeah,
yes,
you don't worry about it. Yeah, be there to back you up. Okay, Bhushan.
yes, yes. Thanks. Yes.
Sure.
My last question is, how did you prepare for interview specifically? Like to like a special preparation is needed to crack so like big giants like JP Morgan or
Are you a fresher or experienced?
pressure.
Okay, I think the basic. I think you should be good enough with the basics. If you're experienced, then there are a lot of other questions will be triggered, I can say. But since you are a fresher, then actually that's a great advantage, I can say. Just be good with your technical and just go. I think the topics which are covered in the sharpener, right? I think they are pretty much good enough, and just learn why. I just spoke about, right? Just don't go with how, and also go with why.
Yes,
What the most product based companies ask for. Why? Because they want someone who can take decisions and go ahead with his own,
True.
instead of that's what even they are expecting from me here in the JP Morgan in the third round. Instead of asking for a definition, what is this, he was not asking the definition. He was giving me a scenario. Okay, I want this, the data is not loading, and I want certain data to load compulsorily. Okay, and he was expecting me to come up with a topic and then answer on it so
okay,
directly asking. So this is what the bigger organizations expect, I can say.
yes, sir. And you gave the 15 to 20 interviews. Those what was the common in all the interviews? Like some questions or like 1 to 2 question is common in all interviews.
Common questions are already like they're almost repeated, and the questions are, I think you will definitely find it in I think in the last module we had it, right? The interview
Yes,
preparation.
interview
In
question.
preparation, yeah.
Give me all the CSS questions, most of the CSS, I can say, most of the HTML questions, they are all repeated. Nothing is new.
So Rahul, there's a story behind that. Okay, so basically, when I used to go for interviews, right? So I attended a lot of interviews. Okay, so there was this common thing which interviews used to ask me, ki, how good is your CSS? Okay, so initially I was like, ki, I'm a 3 out of 5. Okay, and then they used to ask me the same question again and again. So after that, I realized one thing, ki I should always tell myself ki I'm 4.5 or 5 out of 5 in CSS, because they'll ask the same question.
Correct.
So that's how like I realized, yeah, this is the set of question which everyone asks, and that's why I put the same questions. Yeah.
And believe me, CSS is the toughest, I can say, compared to all. Even there are IITians in my project with 20 years of hardcore development experience. Even they struggle with CSS.
And thing is, like when you rate yourself low, the one thing that you will realize that even if you have answered everything correctly, right, that other person will still think that कुछ तो problem होगा इसमें,
Push the
कुछ तो
problem.
problem होगा. That is the reason why he has rated himself low. Okay, so always rate yourself high, right? I got to know all these things because luckily I had all my seniors really nice, right? Okay, so they had told me all these tricks, right, which I tell you guys, right? Okay, which we are trying to showcase it to you guys, right? So I had been told about all these tricks which helped me crack really good offers from the scratch, right? Okay, so that is very important. Okay, always rate yourself high, right? Kabhi, because let them decide why are you making their task easy, right? If you are rating yourself low, then that means you're 50% rejected already, right? So let them do the job, right? Let them reject you 50%, right?
True. Sure. Arvind, I think let's go with you next. Yeah, Arvind, what's your question?
Hey,
Arvind?
am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, did you need to know design patterns starting out? Because you mentioned the why of the thing being important, right? Like, that's my first question. I have another follow-up, but please.
Designing in the sense, sorry, I didn't get you.
Design patterns, no?
Classes and
Like,
all, right? Oops, you're talking
yeah,
about, right?
yeah. Why did you use this thing? Like,
Not exactly. The thing which I meant was like suppose the common what I the common topic I'll take, like suppose why React is famous for, right? So we just go on saying the features, right? So we don't know, even if you get deep into virtual DOM concept, there is a big topic. So they will expect you to say that, even when we talk about hooks, right? So that's what I was targeting, when we talk about hooks. So we just know it works this way and it works this way, it doesn't work, that's it. So they'll ask why, what's the what's the reason behind that.
right. So it's like, why would you choose a map over, let's say, an array? Questions like that, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I had one more question. Like, do you have any advice for practicing code outside of interview so that you don't struggle during the interview?
Yeah, there are common set of programming questions which I think you will definitely get it when you start attending. Just don't worry for on the first round, on the first time, if you're not able to do it. Just note it down and practice it. I think if you're good with the logics, right, the logic implementation and the functional implementation, you will be definitely able to go with, the same program can be done with many ways. So once, I think it's very important for you to understand the functionality, right? Functionality, if you are coding it at the very first time in front of interviewer, then definitely there are less chances that you could be getting the output. So, just be good with the logics, right? So just for example, just my name is Rahul, right? It's a big string. So they'll ask you, okay, now every word should be starting with capital. So now you have to think, how will you access each word and first letter of each word. So if you are good with these logics, then you will be definitely able to do it anything, like array flattening, right? Array flattening. So these are the concepts which I was asked, and don't decode it. Okay, just try to do it dynamically, and even they will expect that. Okay, for just if you solve the question what he has given, then he'll not be happy. He'll say that it has to be dynamic. Now next I'll be sending you a different array, so it has to work for that also.
Yes, sir. I understand. So in JavaScript, can you use methods like, for example, string.split, stuff like that?
They will expect you to know that also, but they'll not be happy with it. Of course,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
They'll ask you to come up with your, regular expressions.
If the
Okay, sir.
question is not about splitting the strings and converting it into an array, you can use inbuilt methods, right? But you should always know, like, if someone asks you how to implement that, you should always also know that, right? How it is working internally, that you should know it, right? Okay. There is no problem whatsoever of using direct commands or direct functionalities, right? Inbuilt commands, basically, right? But you should be knowing how it is working internally, so that it becomes easier for you to derive the time complexity, right? Because the interviewer will always be checking you on those aspects also, right? Okay. And what we believe here, like what we have done in Sharpener now, so all these interview questions that, let's say, Rahul has given or some other person who has given in the interview, so we have jotted it all down, right? Okay. Which we'll be sharing it to you as and when you go ahead. Okay. So which will help you practice, because let's say right now we are sitting somewhere around 380 plus placement, right? Okay. So, and plus these 380 people might have given somewhere around close to 3000 plus interviews. Okay. So we have jotted down each and every one of those set of questions asked, right? So that will help you prepare really well. Okay. Now, if you don't do those things well now, okay, trust me, like all the interview questions that you get, right, 90% will be from that sheet itself. Okay. So Rahul might be thinking which sheet, right? Okay. But okay. So we have done all of those things. Okay. So don't, okay, just karte raho, right? Whatever is given in the platform, just do, right? I have also put in an extra sheet where to practice from, like the extra set of questions to practice from, right? Do those set of questions, ठीक है. अब जहां पे भी issues आए ना, ठीक है, मतलब let's say if you finish that sheet, right, now you're not knowing that where to practice more, right, ping me on WhatsApp, right, tell me that okay I need some more questions to practice. I'll create a sheet that day or by next day, right. ठीक है, मेरे को नहीं किया, if I don't do it again ping me, keep on irritating me, right. ठीक है, so I have to do it, ठीक है, and I will give it to you within a couple of days, ठीक है. That is one thing which is very important, right. You have to take full ownership about how you are preparing, right. And see, we are there to guide you, right. The other mentors are there to guide you, but then you have to, it might happen that it might slip off my head, right. If you tell me today, I might tell you that I might give it to you tomorrow, right, but then you have to ask for it. Okay? It might happen that I might forget it, right, or I might be gymming or something, or I might be roaming around with some other person, right. I might forget, right. But the thing is, you ask me that okay, have you prepared webhub, right. Okay? So that I get to know that okay, I have not done it, so I'll do it again. Okay? Mostly like I put it on a to-do list, so ऐसा miss नहीं होता है. But if I miss it, ठीक है, एक बार पूछ लो. Yeah, that is very important.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
so. That's yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if
Yes,
you are
sir.
experienced, then please, this is not enough. I don't know about the new topic which has been introduced, updated in the sharpener. But yeah, if you're experienced, then definitely interviewer will try to, expose you more, asking your experience on what thing, because he would like to know whether you really had an, in-hand experience in your project or something, because that's why they are giving you hike, right? So
Yes, sir.
also be prepared with your, like, if for experienced folks, I'm saying, like, just be ready with your kind of dummy project, and just to introduce and explain the same. That is what I did.
Okay,
true,
sir.
true. Sure.
Thank you.
I think Sandeep, we can go next with you, Sandeep. Sandeep, you're there. Hello. Okay, I think we'll take the next 10 questions since we're running out of time. Sandeep, you're there. Vishal, can you go next?
Yes sir. Sir, मेरा क्वेश्चन बहुत जेनरिक सा है. आई वांटेड टू आस्क कि जैसे कि अभी वैभव सर ने अभी मेंशन किया था कि देयर आर लॉट ऑफ नेगेटिव सेंटिमेंट, राइट? So so I'm just like, I asked to a lot of people, I watched few videos, and all these AI and these softwares are coming up, and I wanted to know ki what is the future, how secure it is of web development, and like now even AI can generate really good designs and a website. I've seen few examples. So I just wanted to know, because I did not got like I did not get any satisfied answer from people that I asked. Few said yes, few said no. So I'm just so confused. I wanted to know, like, what is like future of this web development, and if AI can do it, then.
I think, yeah, Rahul, you want to go on this?
I would say, if you ask me 10 years later, there would have been something which is, coming after AI. So I think we should never bother about this as far as you're upgrading yourself. I think, right, the 3 years back, what it was, the 3 years back, I think 4 years back, Vue.js was, booming. But when React came, it's now completely down, I can say. So we don't know, even the React is just a library of JavaScript, right? So I don't know how it would be after 5 years. So as far as you're into IT, you should be always upgrading.
Yeah, I think that's the best answer. So guys, like in general, your jobs, like with the help of Chat GPT and whatever OpenAI is there, right? It can definitely generate a lot of code. Okay, it can give you stuff, but your job is actually not writing this code. Okay, it is about figuring out कि कहाँ पे क्या डालना है. That's the main importance. Okay, so that AI cannot do, because AI में you cannot dump your like entire GitHub repository जो मतलब जिसमें like there are like more than 1 lakh lines of code, उसमें बोलो कि यार चैट जीपीटी अब इसमें ये घुसा दो, वो नहीं हो पाएगा चैट
Yes,
जीपीटी.
that's what I'm asking कि like human aspect क्या है जॉब में घुसने के बाद, क्या होता है जो कि AI अभी नहीं कर सकता. वही मैं जानना चाहता था कि क्योंकि I'm just a fresher, I'm from mechanical background, that's why.
चैट जीपीटी वही है ना, मतलब these things cannot, they can generate components, okay, but what you have to understand कि Stack Overflow में if you search properly ना, you'll find all the things already there. Just that chat GPT is making your search a little more easier. Okay.
Chat GPT is making a developer job easier. Okay.
It's making a developer job easier.
When I get the requirement, suppose I got a requirement saying that I had to display so and so data. Now the biggest challenge is not to bring the data and display the same. I have to design the data structure. I have to design the prop, right? So that's the greatest challenge for me. So
Hmm.
the thing which human can do it, I think so.
Yeah, because it's like more like edge case to edge case. Like ChatGPT can basically answer your, like say if you tell them to design a login system, it will be able to design that. Okay, simple stuff it can do. But when you require ki, like there's a problem statement and then you want to know ki which algorithm to put over here, ChatGPT would not be able to do that. Okay, so that's where humans are required. Okay, so don't worry, your jobs are very much secure, and you also have to keep upgrading. As in, after 3 years, 4 years, maybe you'll also be developing something next level. Yeah, but yeah, like once you understand the fundamentals, like because this is how you'll go to the more advanced level, like AI and all. Yeah, like after 2 3 years, maybe a lot of people would be working on blockchain or AI from the same full stack development only route. You can go to those stuff. Okay, so just treat it as this is the stepping stone to all the more mature, like more immature stuff, like AI and all. They're like right now immature. uh, Full stack is very mature in that manner. Ki, people can go and there's a certain part to doing it. Okay, so like just think of it. This is a stepping stone to all those new domains. Okay, so yeah.
Yes sir. I was also thinking the same कि आप एक चैट जीपीटी को पूरा अपना डेटाबेस नहीं दे सकते, उसके बाद उससे कहोगे कि ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर. So but one of my friend is working in AI, like he's in a job that is related to something AI. I don't know what he does, but he said that everything will be automated and all that. He gave me a lot of negative,
That
so
keeps
that is
coming.
why I want.
Sometime back there
Yeah.
was something called like it is still there, GitHub Copilot. Okay, so things like this will keep coming. So yeah,
And that
you
makes
focus on your
develop job easy. Okay, don't worry. Manager or lead is not going to run it and prepare his own application. They need developers. Don't worry. It is making your job easy. That's it.
Right. And we also have to understand ki, as and when probably one more year ahead, we will see more advanced things in technology, right? Our technology हमेशा change होते रहेगा, and we are diving towards a more technology world, right? ठीक है, तो जब तक यहाँ पे जा रहे technical world में जा रहे हैं, right? So we will be valued more, right? Other domains like probably like कुछ भी, right? कुछ भी other domains तुम सोच सकते हो, right? They will be less value because सब कुछ automation में जाएगा और हम लोग ही वो automation लिखेंगे, right? We will be the people behind those set of automations, right? Now if you might ask me कि what to choose, whether to choose AI or whether to choose machine learning or whether to choose front end, back end, right? So यहाँ पे the best answer is always search on LinkedIn the number of openings that are there, right? Check the number of job openings that are there. Right, I was showing this like in my previous class only, day before yesterday's class, I was showing this. Right, so अभी क्या है machine learning में you will see 100 openings on a daily basis. Right, जहाँ पे तुम on a React JS में you will see more than 600 openings. ठीक है, front end मतलब back end में you will see more than 600 openings. ठीक है, which is almost 10-12 times of what you see in AI or machine learning. ठीक है, for a fresher or something like that.
for a fresher also AI and machine learning में बहुत ही कम jobs रहेंगे. मतलब बहुत मुश्किल है for a fresher to do it.
Correct.
So,
and do your markets research also. Like अगर तुम यहाँ पे if you talk to people who are developing AI stuff or machine learning stuff, right, for a company, right, just ask them कि आपका role क्या है, whether you're enjoying their work or not, right? जैसे D-Show में we have a team which is known as data analyst, right? ठीक है, so I work very closely with them, right? उनका कुछ भी काम नहीं रहता है, right? They're just doing manual work, right? They're just doing manual work.
Yeah, sir. I did research about it. Like they are doing data entry kind of thing कि छोटी-छोटी चीजें manually feed कर रहे हैं तब जाके AI बनेगा. And they will be the ones who will be replaced first.
Correct. तो वही बात है यहाँ पे, ठीक है? So you always have to take that decision smartly और उन लोगों को pay भी बहुत कम मिलता है. They get, because since it's a lot of manual work, right? You get paid also really less, right? ठीक है. So that is the reason. ठीक है, मतलब and if you look at also ना मतलब that is the reason why you see all the pay after placements diving into this thing, because यहाँ पे companies का requirements बहुत ज़्यादा है. समझ रहे हो ना? All the companies, like if you are trying to develop a company, what is the first thing that you need? You need a website, you need an app, right? In order
Yes,
to
sir.
sell something, you need these things, right? So हर एक company को ये चाहिए, ठीक
Yes,
है?
sir. I see a lot of ads on Instagram for full stack development, full stack development. So yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, true. And thank you so much. I'm feeling very lighter now. And congratulations, Rahul sir. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, next, let's, okay, so I think, Savita, you can go next, Savita. Okay, we'll take the next 10 question, guys. I think we're running out of time. Savita, let's go. Yeah, Savita.
Hi Rahul. Firstly, congratulations for the job. Actually, currently I'm doing that interview module section, and I'm preparing for an interview. Can you tell me like how can I prepare for DSA? Like, can you
Yes.
give me some tips to prepare for a DSA?
Okay, but at least you should be good enough with the basics. If the interviewer is asking something and you shouldn't be saying, "I'm not, I don't know, or I'm not aware." But at least if you're not able to solve it in his way, but yeah, you should be able to explain that structure about the data. I mean that whatever the structure is. So at least prepare to a minimum level. I'm saying, instead of staying blank. Even if you're not able to do high level programming on using DSA, that's fine. But again, you should at least have an idea about that. What is about he asks you to, if he asks you to go with a hash map or something. At least you should be going how do we create elements? How do we add elements? How do we set? How do we fetch the elements? So at least if you come up with this, then he'll be getting to know at least, okay, the person is not completely blank. I think this is followed personally.
Okay, like actually I have understood all the topics. I know the basic, but when a new program is given, I actually stuck. Like I get stuck how to build a logic. So
Uh, that I think you can still, even if you ask me personally, even I was not really great at ESA, but yeah, the questions were asked to me. The interviewers do expect you to at least come up with something that you can at least a kind of satisfying, something you can say about the topics and come up. Okay, if you're not able to code and you're not able to get the output also, but if you are doing it in a right way, this is how it went with me. Yes, in my first round of interview of JP Morgan, he was asking me to bring the complete dynamic API. Complete. He was not expecting me to access a property with object dot. It should be complete dynamic, and I didn't get the output, but the approach what I was following was right. So maybe he was okay with it.
Understood. So yeah, but that's where you should know DSA that well, right? Like using the right data structures definitely would help. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the algorithm needs to be there. Okay. Obviously, coding people would ask, okay, if you get the output, they'll be like, then the interview is your, or then the interview is all yours. Okay, like he'll hire you at that moment itself. Okay. So yeah, definitely, Shabita, like we suggest like whatever you've done before, like whatever DSA you've done, at least that much, because that is primarily the basics. We've not introduced a lot of advanced things. We've moved it out. Okay. So yeah, pretty much that you should understand, I think so. Yeah. So yeah, let's go to the next question. Amarnath, you want to go next?
Yeah, hello, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, Amar.
So actually, my question is like, how should I mention my experience, which is not IT related?
It would depend, Amar. Like I think once you have finished everything, like we'll work on that, because it's more like it depends upon how well you've prepared. Okay. You can mention it's not ID related, but it's all depends upon your preparation. Moreover, Amar. So we can discuss that. That's more like a one-on-one thing, which we'll discuss once you're in the placement.
Actually, I am about to finish my final mock interview with this. So,
Awesome. We'll discuss it. Yeah. I think we'll meet sometime soon only. So yeah, we'll discuss it. Yeah, Amar. Take it.
yeah.
Okay. Savita, you can go next. Savita.
Navita is done.
Savita's done. Ronak.
Hi everyone, I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible, Ronak.
Congrats Rahul, first of all, for your new job. Actually, I have 2.3 years experience in TCS. but like my career is kind of stuck here. Like I'm thinking to put my papers, but due to the current situation, not able to do so. Like it's a tough decision, and because my project is like quite demanding, so I joined Sharpener in July, I think last year, and I'm on advanced JavaScript. So like
I
that.
remember my past now.
So
Okay.
actually, I don't want to do that. Like I want to do it fast and like make it to a good company really soon. So what can you recommend for this?
Yeah, but I would say, it all depends on your preparation and, time of time of your, your time, that's what I mentioned, right? So even I was in the previous company, I was already like, I had a good hands-on, so I was able to, in a good way. I would say if you are already in a company, then you should relax a little and get into deeper. I think your experience is already counting, the more deeper you get into, you will be able to showcase all your experience over there.
Mhm.
This is what I would suggest. You're not wasting your time, even though if you take 2 months late, that is added as an experience for you, which of course you will be expecting a great hike for the next. So the deeper you go, right, so you can showcase a kind of all your experience on React itself. That is what I did.
Correct.
Yeah, I think you should not be worried about time because your experience is already counting.
Mhm. And thank you, Rahul. And Vaibhav, I also have one question that in DSA, if a new question is thrown at me, like for naive solution, I'm really able to code it within 10-15 minutes. But when it comes to optimization, I have to take help of articles and like YouTube videos or Sharpener videos for that. So
Now, what is the approach over here to solve any question in general? First, you will always look out for the naive approach, right? That is the first step which you're able to do. That's awesome, right? Okay, that's a very good way to do, right? First, always understand the question, come to the naive approach, right? And then try to break it down. Okay, from the naive approach only, you will come to that optimized part, right? You have to figure out how can you eliminate things, right? Eliminate unnecessary computations using data structures, right? Okay, I know there will be a lot of times where you would have to go through a lot of materials or you will not be able to solve questions, but always try to understand like how did that person from that naive approach come to the optimized answer, right? From the brute force solution come to that optimized answer. So always try to find out that path, because that path is very important, because when you're coming to the naive approach, probably in the next question when you come to the naive to the brute force solution, you have to come to that optimized answer, right? So if you try to understand the path always, right, like what was the path that you had followed last time, so when you do this, you will start recognizing the patterns, right? And that pattern will help you get to the optimized answer, right? And what is the thing that you should do, right? Okay, it's practice. Keep on practicing, right? Okay, keep on practicing more and more set of questions that will help you out figuring out the optimized answer easily. Okay.
thank you. And Vaibhav, just one more request. I have not given any mock interviews either for DSA or for web dev. I have taken interviews of
So how are we moving ahead? Groups में भी added नहीं होंगे, ठीक है? That is the reason I have given you my numbers, right? Ronald.
I am in web dev group as well as in the DSA group. I am there in both the groups.
ये कैसे ये कौन सा हैक तुमने ढूंढ लिया, राइट? ठीक है. तो the thing is, message me, right? Message me your query that your mock interview is not given, because mock interviews are very important, right? ठीक है, because that will help you understand. मतलब it's like just a mirror image, right? You will understand about yourself better in that mock interviews, because you will understand like whether you are able to come up with the answer that quickly or not, right? Okay, whether you are able to come up with that optimized answer or not, right? How well you are answering things, right? How well you are explaining things. So those things are important. Okay, so do not skip them, right? Okay, I know there might be a lot of hacks जिससे तुम आगे बढ़ सको, but वो फायदा नहीं है.
Like I am ready to give. मैंने लिए भी हैं 4-5 लोगों के मॉक इंटरव्यू, बट मेरे को आया ही नहीं. मतलब मैंने आपसे
नहीं, मेरे को पिंग करो ना WhatsApp में. I'll just look into it कि what exactly it is, and I will get your mock interview conducted. ठीक है?
I think let's go to Darshan now in the interest of time. Darshan, let's go to you.
Yeah, hi, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my question was regarding if we hunt for the packages like 8, 9, or more than 10 LPA, that time company also expect that this candidate should have work on some live projects like this, and it's a now it's means a requirement that company ask for the live projects experience. So, what could you suggest for that? Should we go for some internship before?
No, Darshan. See, यहाँ पे वही डेप्थ ही मैटर 8 9 मतलब like almost 10 तक तो यही रहता है कि इंटर्नशिप का जरूरत नहीं है. इट्स मोर लाइक कि यू शुड नो द स्टाफ. ओके, मतलब उतना डेप्थ आना चाहिए. 8 तो बहुत इजी हो जाता है अगर मतलब बहुत इन डेप्थ आता ही है. ठीक है, पर 8 9 तक मतलब 10 में थोड़ा ज्यादा मुश्किल होता है 10 लाना, पर 8 उतना मुश्किल नहीं है. ठीक है, 8 पाना. तो यहाँ पे यही है कि तुम्हारा वैसा स्किल सेट होना चाहिए. ठीक है, उतना इन डेप्थ, तो उससे हो जाएगा. बिकॉज इन दी एंड कंपनीज वांट कि तुम्हें वैसा टाइप का आता है. अगर वो पूछे क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है, तुम्हें लाइक फंडामेंटल्स बहुत कैसा ही होने चाहिए उसके लिए. ठीक है दर्शन.
ओके.
तो वही है कि प्रिपेयर करो अच्छे से. बस प्रिपरेशन में कोई कमी मत छोड़ो, बस हो जाएगा.
Yeah, and means actually, means I used to see many interviews on YouTube's and all that. That time there is used to means they say that work on live projects and or work on some projects which could be somewhat unique, so that help to get cracked in the interviews like this.
Getting you. नहीं वो सब जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा. मतलब इंटर्नशिप एंड ऑल यू डोंट नीड. जस्ट फोकस ऑन वन थिंग, अच्छे से हो जाएगा. ठीक है दर्शन?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay दर्शन. Sure. Mamta, let's go with you.
Okay, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Mamta.
Firstly, congratulations for Rahul, sir, for getting the job. And my question is, what is the current package that you have got? And do you have any advice for the fresher who is aimed to crack the highest package?
I would say if you're a fresher, then I think first your package should be your second priority. That's out of my personal experience, I would say, Vaibhav, I was in a startup company at the very first in the 2019. It was a really startup company, but the tech stack I was working on, it was beautiful. I think it was some Angular and kind of ETL thing.
Okay.
The package was very less as a fresher though. But immediately when I got an offer from Wipro with a better package, I just left that company and joined here. And for 2 years, I have no idea what I did in the company.
Okay.
I was struggling to literally technical skills. I struggled throughout to just grow my technical skills and get into different domain. So I would say if you are a fresher, I think freshers, there won't be much difference in the package, right, Vaibhav? Like it will be almost like.
So what we try over here is for a fresher also, it's not that difficult to get a 10 lakh rupees plus job if you have the skills. Okay? And over here we ensure this thing that the role should be really good, right? Rahul, he made this mistake of getting into a bad role and going for a higher package, right? So we what we check whenever the company approaches us, we look out for two things, right? What will be the package and what will be the job responsibilities, right? That you'll be getting, right? If it's not a software domain, okay, it's pointless. Why? Because let's say the thing is, like if you check the map, right, of a tester, right? Tester might be paid same as a software developer initially. Why do companies do that? Because someone has to become that tester, right? Now let's say a fresher might not be having enough knowledge that what exactly will be the work like. और एक बार टेस्टर बन गया ना, become very difficult to switch to something like software development domain, right? क्योंकि तुम काम ही नहीं कर रहे वैसा, right? ठीक है. So that is the reason. And once you are like into fault, like you have you are into that trap of like working into a tester domain for 3 years, 4 years, right? It becomes really difficult. You'll continue in that domain itself. Okay. So that is the reason why company pays, like they might pay you the same amount, but it's a complete no-no, right? What is the most important thing? That what will be the job profile that you will be working on? Because if you look at the growth, right, in 4 years, that a software developer will be making 10x of what a tester will be making, right? Okay. Why? Because of the knowledge, right? क्योंकि टेस्टर कोई कोड नहीं लिख रहा, he is just testing what a software developer is written.
I think their jobs are a risk in risk now. I think everybody now everything is expected by developers itself to just test it and deploy the same.
नहीं, but क्या होता है ना कि जैसे बहुत
लोग पैकेज के पीछे पड़े हैं, वैसे लग रहा है राहुल के। तो राहुल, आई थिंक जेपी मॉर्गन का तो बता नहीं सकता, जेपी मॉर्गन का 15 प्लस ही है वैसे, बट आई थिंक अदर्स यू कैन टेल the ones which which you rejected.
Yeah, so I think I got started with 5.5 actually, and then when I went on giving, then it came to like 8, 9. So most of the offers I had was about like 9 to 10, and believe me, there was an offer of about 12, and I was literally not planning to go for that because of my job role, right? I think I discussed it with Vaibhav and Yash also.
Right?
The same, you know. Now, I would say I'm not just giving you the suggestions. Even I was about to do the same. Even I was not going for that company because the job role was not great, and I would not get a great opportunity to upgrade myself. So I didn't keep that in my mind itself just because of the job role, right? So I would say be more specific about your job role and your responsibilities before joining.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
one thing over here, जैसे मतलब यहाँ पे companies might pay you well, right? मतलब जैसे मतलब when Rahul cracked Pega, right? Pega is a really good company, but the job role was not good. ठीक है? So I told him that सोचना भी मत join करने का, right? ठीक है? And why I told him? Because I told him that after a year, right, we want you to get a 25-30 lakh rupees job. That will not happen with Pega, right? Okay, because when Pega approached us, it was like mostly here they will give you a good role, right? It will be a full stack role, but I don't know what happened, and then things changed. Okay, so it's very important to understand, even if the company offers you a really high amount salary, right? Okay, and Pega was paying 3 to 4 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees more, right? 3 lakh rupees more what his previous offer was. Okay, and the thing was that Pega had also sent him a very expensive laptop, the joining kit, before him joining.
Everything they used to give me, like they told like they give everything, even food, dinner, lunch, breakfast. So everything was that. Even I didn't keep anything in my mind. I was more focused about, because I know the struggle. I came through it. I already. Believe me, you should not be easily replaceable. Okay, you should be in such a not be easily replaceable. There are my friends who are right now in Bangalore. They were my classmates who started with 2 or 2.4 something, with just 3 years of experience. Now they're like about 16.5 to 7 lakhs per annum.
Correct.
So it's all because of domain and your expertise.
Correct. And over here we will guarantee you कि we will get you, अगर if you do the course properly ना, ठीक है, 8-9 लाख रुपीस कहीं नहीं गए हमारे से, right? ठीक है, 8-9 लाख रुपीस has not gone anywhere, right? We'll get you that, and we'll get you in a good domain, ठीक है? So 1 year from that ना, ठीक है, you can easily expect 15 to 20 lakh rupees, right? ठीक है? So because मतलब जैसे अगर Rahul, if you would have joined us from 2019 ना, मतलब ठीक है, so I would have अभी right now he would be sitting somewhere around at the CTC of 30 to 40 lakhs. ठीक है, because it's all about the correct steps that you take. समझ रहे हो? विप्रो में he ended up wasting 2 years. अगर वो 2 साल अच्छा knowledge gain करता ना, right? I'm not saying कि मतलब like against anything, Rahul, yeah, but I'm telling him it's very important to take the correct set of steps into the correct domain. समझ रहे हो? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, true. Okay, I think guys, we're running out of time. I think so. Abhishek, let's quickly do this. Yeah, let's do
Abhishek is the last person.
Thank you, sir.
Queries will take.
Akash was the last person, I think so. Yeah.
Akash was the last left. So
Yeah. Abhishek, you can go next quickly. Let's do a rapid fire with Rahul. Yeah.
And congratulations, Rahul.
Thank you.
I just want to know that you right now I'm the React in the e-commerce project section.
Okay.
So do I need to memorize every topic what I'm learning as per hooks and everything? So in interview, are they expecting me to keep on thoroughly going to especially in the terms of definition or so I need to I need to memorize?
Don't call it memorize. I would say again. So just be uh, good with. I mean, when I talk about, when I say the definition, right? So always an interviewer expects you to come up with. Just don't memorize, okay? So yeah, I what I follow the approach is, I would, in any of the interview, I would just share my screen initially, and whatever he asked, I used to open a drawing board and I used to start, explaining in a pictorial way, I can say, right? Instead of just going with the definition. So what if we just ask about like virtual DOM or Redux? So many just say that, okay, it's a state management or something, blah blah blah. So I would do something. I would open, a drawing bar where I used to draw components, just a rough diagram, so that, he also knows that, okay, you have understood the concept, so that you are explaining it in a pictorial way. So this helped me a lot. I would suggest everybody to do the same. Whatever you are explaining, how no matter how simple that topic might be, just go, open the drawing board and start explaining and showing, show it and explain to them, so that he will definitely know that, okay, yes. So like topics like execution context and all, right? So they are not explain, you cannot explain it, or you cannot say the definition, okay? So better you open and come up with a drawing. This is what I followed, and this helped me a lot, I can say.
And one more question is, CSS is, as you have mentioned that CSS is getting very very much hard for me. So no, so as for designing a web page, it is not. I don't find very much interesting. So how to overcome this problem?
Even if you don't find any interest, I think you force
Market
yourself.
में जाना पड़ेगा लग रहा है.
Yeah, the only option is you have to be a back-end developer, of course. And if you still want to remain in a front end, that's just force yourself to fall in love with it, I can say.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't need to get deep into it. Just some basic stylings, just basic paddings, margins, and box modeling, specificity, flex box. So I think the questions which are already provided by Sharpener, they are like more than sufficient. Some companies ask you to design and all, but yeah.
True. ठीक है. I think let's go with Karthik now. Karthik.
Hi, sir. So,
Yeah,
due to
Karthik.
these layoffs, how we all are going to place all of us, these companies are
वही है ना,
coming and
layoffs
approaching
हो रहे हैं तो
our
मतलब वही है ना. See, layoffs, it's a cycle ना, as I was telling Karthik, कि layoffs होंगे, hiring freeze होगा, but companies will still hire, okay? मतलब right now a lot of companies are hiring, okay? ऐसा नहीं कि companies are not hiring, ठीक है? और ऐसा टाइम आएगा कि अभी layoffs हुआ है तो फिर से the companies which laid off, okay, after 3-4 months they'll again start hiring. You're understanding? Now this time they'll hire people at maybe they'll hire little junior profiles, maybe कुछ भी हो सकता है, मतलब फ्रेशर हायरिंग कर सकते हैं ज्यादा कम पैकेज में, समझ रहे हो? तो ये सब चीजें चलते रहते हैं. दिस इज अ साइकिल. अभी हायरिंग फ्रीज बहुत सारी कंपनीज में, बट अभी बहुत बहुत कंपनीज हायर कर रही है, समझ रहे हो? तो ये तो बहुत टाइम से चलते आ रहा है. रिसेशन तो है ही, अभी पीक पे भी है, बट लाइक हायरिंग चलते रहेगा. बिकॉज इंडिया में द बेस्ट थिंग अबाउट इंडिया इज राइट नाउ इट्स एट इट्स बूम. समझ रहे हो? इतना ज्यादा स्टार्टअप्स आ रहे हैं राइट इंडिया में, भर भर के. तो प्लेस तो हो ही जाओगे सब लोग, ठीक है? बस अपना स्किल सेट रखो. जैसे होता है ना आईआईटीएंस में, कभी आई कीप टेलिंग दिस टू अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल कि आईआईटी में कभी हायरिंग का प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता. ऑल द आईआईटीएंस गेट हायर्ड, ओके? सो शार्पनर इज द सेम प्लेस, ओके? लाइक शार्पनर में भी ऐसा ही रहेगा कि you guys will be so good, right, कि people would not be able to resist Sharpnarians, okay? So
Okay.
that's kind of, yeah, Shatik, tell me.
I just completed the web development demo and came here. So many of people are talking about CSS. So is CSS is it taught in front end module? Or where? So I
CSS
want
is
to go in with front end. So just I want to know.
like jitna basic CSS is, that is there, okay? Like jitna would be required, okay? Like obviously CSS ka there is no one, okay? There is no end to CSS, okay? You can keep doing CSS. Like I am 5 years experience, still I'm very bad at CSS, I'll tell you. So that's a common cycle, I'll say. Yeah, Karthik. तो जितना है, मतलब there's a lot of things which are there in CSS. Bootstrap भी है अभी, like we've put. So
Yes, the links are provided in that we are copying here. So we are just manipulating them only.
करेक्ट
So
करेक्ट करेक्ट
yes.
मतलब वही है, सिर्फ समझ जाओ कि कैसे होता है वो बूटस्ट्रैप का, लाइक वंस यू यूज इट, लाइक ऑब्वियसली यू विल कीप यूजिंग इट, एंड मतलब एक बार बूटस्ट्रैप आ जाएगा तो लाइक एवरी अदर फ्रेमवर्क इज इजी टू पुट यूज, या कार्तिक?
Okay. Okay, sir.
ठीक
Thank
है,
you.
sure sure. Dayal, you can go next. I think Dayal is the last we'll take for today, guys.
Hi, Rahul.
Yeah, Dayal, go ahead, Dayal.
Rahul, how long is your interview period?
Sorry.
How long is your interview period running?
Okay, for how long I attended interviews, right?
Yes.
It was for a month, I can say. It was for a month. It depends again. Initially, I was calls. No, keep Vaibhav and Yash updated. Okay, I think few folks like you called me and they were like, I'm not getting many calls, but yeah, at least you should let Vaibhav and Yash know, so that they will work on it. So let them know. When I used to call Vaibhav and Yash daily, Vaibhav ko to main roz call phone karta tha and see, so I'm not getting so many calls, and then later on I started getting. Okay, and yeah, I just went on attending interviews. I can say just I was able to crack like in a week or 2 weeks, I can say just one or two. But after like I attended many interviews at the end of a month, after 4 to 5 weeks, I was doing better, I can say. So I was able to crack, like it was like I was cracked multiple of moment, I can say.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, I think guys that's about it for today, guys. We had a lovely session, Rahul. I think people are very, very motivated and they'll come after your LinkedIn after this.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to share and discuss. Yeah, please.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you, Rahul. Thank you for motivating each and every one of us. Yeah, and yeah, thank you for this lovely, lovely session. Yeah, Rahul.
Thank you, everyone.